Yeah, so I love the move that you made because number one, you timed the market. You knew the multiples were much higher than what we've seen really in
Yeah,
modern history. They're likely to come down at some point in time, and clearly they have. So
they
nice
have.
job,
Yeah.
you timed it. But also, most wealthy people get wealthy via concentration, but
Mm.
they stay wealthy via diversification.
Yeah.
And so you're in a pretty risky asset class, if you will.
Hmm.
The odds of a business continuing on at that clip for a long period of time are actually not good. You see
Yeah.
this opportunity, you exit, and by doing that, you take cash in, but you de-risk your whole portfolio. Now you can actually
Right.
properly allocate the way that your family office probably wished you could have back then.
That's right.
Now they're able
Yeah.
to, kind of get you more in, a percentage here in public equities, a percentage in private equity, a percentage in real estate, a percentage in, fixed income, so on and so forth. So I think overall, that's good because you get to keep your wealth that way. You can grow
That's
it.
right.
It's easier to grow it. It's less risky. Um, and the other thing that I think is really strategic, and I always encourage people, I was sharing this before, but we had 20 people in the Lifestyle Investor Mastermind last year that had an exit. And we had them, all over. We had 7 figures, 8 figures, and 9 figures. And
Awesome.
what's really cool, and we've got a couple people working on some 10-figure exits, and we got maybe 1 or 2 working on an 11-figure exit. So we'll
Nice.
see. We'll
Yeah.
see what that ends up looking like. Um, and so just unbelievable entrepreneurs. And so when I think about the opportunity to kind of tag along for the future, I'm not a big fan of an earnout, so I always try to
Yeah. Yeah. Me neither.
advise away from it. But can you get a piece of the upside without any real commitment or very
Yeah.
limited commitment? And it sounds
Yeah.
like you did that. So nice
We did.
job.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. I think that, when I learned this principle early on with a friend of mine. He actually taught me two principles I'll share with you. But like the first principle was this, is that ego is dilutive to net worth, right? When you have a high ego, expect your net worth to go down. When you basically kill your ego, expect your net worth to go up. So ego is dilutive to net worth. So
Love
I
that.
think about that all the time. And so what I realize is that, the truth is this business is way bigger than Brian and Shannon Miles. This business is way bigger than my ideas. It just took off, and we were very fortunate to be the stewards of it for a season of time for, a decade. The truth is that, you know, when we got to the transaction at the end, we were unnecessary to it, which funny enough gave us the opportunity to really call most of the shots, which is again a counterintuitive idea that you give away what you think is important, but you have most of the shots when it matters the most. And so at the end, we negotiated a really awesome deal in terms of what that looked like. Yes, we have upside. We still maintain a percentage of ownership in the company. We're the second largest shareholder still in the company. However, we did really well to basically say, look, our involvement is going to be limited in this way, and how we best think we can help, in key networks, key relationships, historical things that we know were important to know about the business. But it did. It opened up a lot of freedom for us to do other things, which is what we do. We spend most of our time in our holding company today. We invest in other companies. Before we exited Belay back in 2018, we started a brewery here in North Atlanta, and we've got into distilling now. And so, that was a business that we had started anyway, whether Belay was going to have the outcome it had or not. Unfortunately, that's been wonderful to kind of help offset that, and when we've de-risked into other assets. But there's other things that we've been involved in different capacities. We get a lot of people that come to us and say, hey, we want you to invest in this, and we get a lot of deal flow. So we look at a lot of things. We say no to most. Um, we've got kind of a criteria we've set up for the lens for how we'll invest and kind of our strategy for that, and our team kind of executes on that in terms of due diligence. But man, it's just a counterintuitive idea to think that if it's up to me, it's got to be, or that concept of I got to be the hero, I got to be the problem solver. If that's how you're going to approach your business, it's going to remain small. It just
Yeah.
will.
There's no doubt. And I love the move of you took all your chips off the table.
Hmm.
So it's all house money, but
Yeah.
you still have a percentage. And if private equity's coming in, there are some core competencies, some
Absolutely.
strategies, some networks that they have that, you know, us as business owners do not have. The
That's
odds of
right.
them growing the business are actually pretty good. And so it's
Hmm.
good to kind of ride along. And so you had said earlier that the business has doubled since you sold it,
Yep.
which is
Proudly would
incredible.
say that. Yeah. It's thrilled to see that. And it's doing really, really well. And a lot of it has to do with their injection of mind capital, their injection of capital, their how they guide executives to make good decisions, and they bring in a lot of great resources for that. Things that as a business owner starting in my basement, I didn't have access to, right?
Yep.
So I felt like also, and Shannon did too, that this was a good next iteration of the business, that we had taken it really as far as we could, coupled with where the economic winds were at the time. And oh, by the way, this thing that we had cashed out our 401k with for $160,000, it's time to sell. It just there were a lot of logical reasons for why we made that decision. So yeah, I recognize when I share a story like this, a lot of people have had businesses that haven't gone well, or they've gone bankrupt, or their outcome wasn't that. And so I'm not here saying that this is possible for everybody. I'm just saying that if you take your time and you focus in a certain direction for a long period of time, but if you also remain humble and you kill your ego and you empower people and you find great leaders that can run your business, you're going to have success. I don't know what it numerically looks like, but you will have success.